Welcome to the United States of America, where the sitting president of the United States happens to be a deranged, demented, convicted felon whom we call Taco Tits, who fights all the time with his idiotic former best friend, the world's richest man and untreated drug addict who trips on ketamine all the time and gets on Twitter at 4 a.m. to put out bangers like this. So, here, first of all, is Trump's post to his idiotic former best friend. I am saddened to watch Elon Musk go completely off the rails, essentially becoming a train wreck over the past 5 weeks. He even wants to start a third political party, despite the fact that they have never succeeded in the United States. The system seems not designed for them. The one thing third parties are good for is the creation of complete and total disruption and chaos. And we have enough of that with the radical left Democrats who have lost their confidence and their minds. Republicans, on the other hand, are a smooth running machine that just passed the biggest bill of its kind in the history of our country. It is a great bill, but unfortunately for Elon, it eliminates the ridiculous electric vehicle mandate, which would have forced everyone to buy an electric car in a short period of time. I have been strongly opposed to that from the very beginning. People are now allowed to buy whatever they want, gasoline-powered hybrids, which are doing very well, or technologies as they come about. No more EV mandate. I have campaigned on this for 2 years, and quite honestly, when Elon gave me his total and unquestioned endorsement, I asked him whether or not he knew that I was going to terminate the EV mandate. It was in every speech I made, in every conversation I had. He said he had no problem with that. I was very surprised. Additionally, Elon asked that one of his close friends run NASA. And while I thought his friend was very good, I was surprised to learn that he was a blue blooded Democrat who had never contributed to the Republican Party before. Elon probably was also. I also thought it inappropriate that a very close friend of Elon, who was in the space business, run NASA when NASA is such a big part of Elon's corporate life. My number one charge is to protect the American public. Okay, so much to unpack here. Number one, he's basically trying to signal to his base that Elon is a Democrat. And was going into Trump to kind of be a mole to get him to put this EV mandate in the bill. And I do think that Trump, a broken clock is right twice a day. So I do think that there is some truth to this. Elon doesn't give a shit about the deficit.
No.
He used all of that to come in to shut down investigations into himself, which we've discussed ad nauseum. But this part right here, I find particularly rich, that Trump felt it inappropriate that a close friend of Elon's work in NASA, that somehow we're supposed to buy into that this guy has, like a transparent moral outlook on how to govern.
Well, okay, let me tell you what I saw when I read this. I thought he may have been around when this doesn't look like something Donald Trump wrote. This is way too nuanced, and it's not as gruff as normal. What he's trying to get at is Elon's a skunk. He wants everybody to be a skunk. But here's the thing about Trump. And I know we say this all the time, but he's like, somebody can't run NASA that's never donated to Republican Party. It's like, you can't just be good at your job. You have to be a Republican.
You have to be a partisan.
Loyalist.
You have to be a partisan. You have to. He wants partisan politics. And the second Elon decided not to be partisan anymore, which is all of Elon's stuff is all for personal gain. It has nothing to do with this country. It's going to be a layup for MAGA to take out Elon Musk.
Yes.
Because at their core, they are white supremacists, and in that is American supremacists. It's very easy to dismantle Elon Musk as a corporate welfare queen that got rich off the United States government. And it's going to be so easy to pitch because he's South African and he has an accent, and Americans are ethnocentric first and foremost. All right. Secondly, all of this kind of combines together here. Here's an Axios headline. President Trump's Justice Department and FBI have concluded they have no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client list, or was murdered, according to a memo detailing the findings obtained by Axios. Interestingly, let's listen to Pam Bondi, Trump's Justice Department. So I just want to point out, no evidence of any of this, no evidence of a client list. All right. Here's Pam Bondi in February on Fox. Play the clip.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all.
All right, there we go. So basically here in February, she says that something exists, the client list. It's sitting on her desk and she's going to review it. Now we have her own Justice Department in July dropped on a Sunday night, because we all know the government's always working late on a Sunday night, saying that the client list doesn't exist. The fact of the matter is, MAGA, Trump is all over the Epstein files. And you can go back to, there was I think the last name is Acosta. He was a U.S. attorney in Florida who got Jeffrey Epstein a super duper sweet deal that got him out of prison. He went back and committed tons of more crimes against these young girls. And then this guy who helped cover up all the Epstein stuff gets a appointment in Trump 1.0. So the collusion to cover up the Epstein thing has been going on for quite some time. But don't take my word for it. Let's listen to Jeffrey Epstein being recorded here by journalist Michael Wolff about the Trump administration 1.0. This is Jeffrey Epstein saying this.
I think we have a snippet from one of the conversations that I recorded with Epstein, and I think this was in a restaurant in 2017.
His people fight each other.
Right.
And then have outsiders. He sort of poisons the well outside. He will tell 10 people Bannon's a scumbag and Priest is not doing a good job and Kelly has a big mouth. What do you think? Jamie Dimon says you're a problem and I shouldn't keep you. And I spoke to Carl Icahn. And Carl thinks I need a new spokesperson. So Kelly, even though I hired Kellyanne's husband, Kellyanne's just too much of a wild card. And then,
okay. So the gist of this is that Jeffrey Epstein has insider information about the going on in Trump 1.0. And he's heard it straight from the horse's mouth. Trump says this about Kelly, and he says this about Steve Bannon, and he says that, and he plays everybody against each other because he has insider information because they're buddies. So to believe that Epstein, the client list, or that Donald Trump is nowhere in this, we've seen the photos, we've seen all of it. I guess I'm just mystified, Pumps, I know what I've seen on the internet.
Yeah, right.
That somehow there's a huge portion of the MAGA movement that is, I guess they don't have access to, or they haven't seen, that doesn't understand that Trump is at the epicenter of all this Epstein stuff.
Well, obviously, okay, I did have a conversation with a friend when they were talking about the Epstein files being released. And I said, there is no way any of the Epstein files will be released because Donald Trump is all over them. And this is an educated person. She goes, well, how do you know that? I said, because they were introduced as evidence in Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, who was Jeffrey Epstein's right-hand man. We have flight logs. We have phone messages where he's called. That is all readily available on the internet. And that was a surprise. So I think they stay in these echo chambers that say that doesn't exist, which brings me to the point of Pam Bondi's on Fox. We're going to release them. We're going to release them. You've got all these people saying, release the Epstein files. And now they don't have them. Are they now going to do their own investigation, which would just be a slight Google search and all this would come up?
All right. And this is the way it's being reported on the right. Does the Musk party, and this is back to Elon Musk and his new American party, does the Musk party have a chance in the U.S. two-party system? That is a right-leaning headline. On the left, it's presented like this. Seething over tax bill, Musk forms his own party. And this goes to what Angie was talking about. If you're in a right-wing silo, you never see the truth. And studies have even shown that people who only watch Fox News are actually less informed than people who don't watch the news at all, which is why we believe we have agency. We believe in being a good citizen and getting the facts, which is why every single morning in preparation for these podcasts, we use our Ground News Vantage plan.
What is so helpful about Ground News is they tell you, is the article you are reading factual? Is it low factuality, high factuality, in the middle? They tell you who writes it. They tell you who owns the site that's writing it. It is extremely important to know that you are getting real information.
Listener, join us by going to groundnews.com/IHIP to get 40% off the Ground News Vantage plan that we use every day. They're subscriber funded, and our favorite part is that they are female founded. By subscribing, you're not only getting a tool we all need today, you're also supporting our work. That's Ground, GROUND, news.com/IHIP. Link is pinned right below in the show notes. Moving along, Elon, he loves all this Epstein stuff, and he's known for quite some time that Trump is completely compromised by this. So he puts this up, I'm sure at some ungodly hour at like 4 a.m. or something. He puts 2:12 a.m. He puts up this meme, and it's like somebody making a clown. This is, I think, referring to the Trump administration. We will release the Epstein list. We just need more time. The Epstein list is on my desk. There is no Epstein list. And this, you remember when Trump pumps, when he had all the influencers over to the White House and they got their participation notebooks?
Yes.
With all the Epstein evidence.
Mm-hmm.
That was a play to keep everybody in the cult media echo chamber engaged. And now they've just shut the entire thing down. And I'm wondering, like you said, what percentage of the MAGA base who, like QAnon, who are real into all this stuff, what percentage starts to actually question Donald Trump's integrity? Or do they just get spin onto some new conspiracy?
I think they probably spin out to another conspiracy. But when I see Elon Musk mocking Pam Bondi, the first question that comes to my mind is, Pam Bondi declared a property crime on Tesla as domestic terrorism.
Right.
And so now he's making her out to be a clown because she's the one that said all these things. Are we going to no longer live under the threat of vandalizing a Tesla as domestic terrorism?
Well, of course not. I mean, of course. And, of course she's not going to do that. Pam Bondi is a puppet.
Yes.
For Stephen Miller. She gets instructions about what to go out and say. She has no autonomy over DOJ, zero. There is zero independence in the Department of Justice. It is Trump's personal team of lawyers that are executing cases and investigations based on his preference. And, I have a son that's starting law school in August. I'm wondering, what are they going to teach now at law school? Do you teach due process? What do you teach? All right. And lastly, we have Trump's top advisor, Laura Loomer, who's going to be going through some things. Who releases a statement about the Epstein files on Sunday night, 4th of July weekend? Someone who doesn't want you paying attention.
Okay, my question on this is, how did Laura Loomer not know that Trump's all over this shit? She's on the internet.
Respectfully, she thought Haitians were eating dogs and cats, Angie.
Okay, well, fair. Touche.
I mean, you know what I mean? She is a complete conspiracy theorist. And these people traffic in these outlandish conspiracy theorists. She is a white supremacist. She is a racist. She is, clearly something's going on with her and Trump. And I don't know if it's sexual or what it is, but the fact that she can make a phone call and go to the White House and get people fired and stir shit up is just insane. Could you imagine if Obama had some fringe progressive podcaster that showed up to the White House, and then right after this podcaster left, people were fired that had serious jobs based on a whack job conspiracy theorist. It's insane. But again, the normalization of all of this is the most dangerous aspect to it. And the fact that you do not see more people in large numbers have regret and remorse about voting for Trump is devastating to what's going to happen in a post-Trump America. And the fact that when I see the Republican approval rating of Donald Trump, just the Republican Party, is in the mid 60s,
Right.
it tells you that they finally feel untethered to the civilized society, that they need to work on their racism,
Right.
that they need to try to be better people, that he's completely untethered them and they're enjoying this moment. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the post-Trump America, because Trump right now, and he's like, okay, we just have a time game with him. His term is either going to expire or he's going to drop dead. We're dealing with an 80-year-old that clearly is in advanced dementia.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting with this base because they are so rabid. They are so evil. They are so racist. It's going to be interesting to see how if they're able to consolidate under another leader, because they clearly take orders from this man as to what to believe and what not to believe. And they'll put out some spin that satisfies all this Jeffrey Epstein, that blames the liberals on it, or that he's doing Bill Clinton a favor or something. It's going to be something like this. All right, this is just embarrassing. We're signing out embarrassed in the middle of the United States of America. This is our federal government. It's just devastating, actually. All right, we'll see you all later.